We have a new report that Harry is trying against all odds to bring Meghan and their questionable children back to the UK this year. Is this a new disaster where these freeloaders suddenly decide to return? Let's learn more in this video. Hello friends, welcome to the King YouTube channel. In the face of a lot of criticism over their new rebranding, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been putting on a united front. A representative last week defiantly said this couple will not be broken. Okay then. So they were trying to strike back at critics. People were criticizing their new website, Sussex.com. I mean, it was met with a lot of backlash, understandably. Many people were arguing that the two of them were trying to reclaim their royal titles and status. And even though Meghan has basically had nothing to do with the royal family for quite some time, a source has spoken with New Idea magazine saying that she could return to the UK as soon as May. People are hoping that Meghan Markle is going to help Harry celebrate the 10th anniversary of his charity, the Invictus Games in London. The source said Harry is very keen for his entire family to join him. It's important for him that they show a united front and focus on building bridges with the rest of the royal family. The source went on to say that Harry right now is in government-level talks to come back to the UK for the service at St. Paul's Cathedral to mark a decade of the charity, and that he's very much hoping that it's going to include Meghan as well as their two invisible children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Oh, really now? Interesting. I mean, honestly, though, the royal family do not want Harry back as a working royal, and they certainly don't want Meghan even in the country. And Harry already has signed a document agreeing to choose all in as a working royal or all out. There was no half in, half out, and Harry and Meghan already decided they'd be all out. The two of them had a full year in which to make up their minds. Considering the circumstances, a pretty generous gesture by the Queen, if you ask me. They could stay on their own in America, or they could return to the fold. I mean, all full of their own self-importance, convinced they were better than everybody else, convinced that once the pandemic came to an end, they were going to be superstars. They were going to be the royals of America. Obviously, that little plan didn't work out, and it's been downhill since then. So what have they achieved exactly? Well, they did that interview with Oprah. They signed a contract with Netflix. They signed a contract with Spotify. They signed a contract for 4 books with Penguin Random House. But it's mostly just been a whole lot of hype, mostly by them as well as their PR teams, but there's not much going on. Now, they started as they meant to go on, with the publicized and certainly televised Oprah Winfrey interview. During that interview, it was proven that Meghan, and to a lesser extent Harry, told at least 17 easily proven lies. Among other whoppers, they openly accused the royal family of being racist, but they refused to name names. So they basically tarred the whole family with that horrible accusation. And they did that stupid Mock You series that was incredibly boring and all about them. Now, I watched the first episode, maybe I watched about 5 minutes of the second before I fell asleep, but it wasn't widely praised. I mean, it wasn't well received by anybody. And then we had Meghan's podcast series, Archetypes, which really just proved that Meghan doesn't even know what the word archetypes means, and Meghan wasn't even the interviewer for these episodes. Her voice was dubbed in afterward. And then it was a very long and boring book by Harry, well, supposedly by Harry, telling everybody about his frozen penis, how William pushed him down and he fell down and broke the dog bowl, and also, poor thing, his hippie bead necklace was broken in that fight. And he also said that he didn't even want to enter the army. All he really ever wanted was a hug or some BS like that. I mean, a few other bits of information that nobody really needed to know, like William always got the bigger bedroom and he got an extra sausage at breakfast. Wah, wah, wah. Nothing notable, though. Now, they signed up to do some after-dinner speeches at $1 million a pop, one single event when they first got there, and nothing since then. They're a couple of irrelevant nobodies, but they believe themselves to be extra special. They believe they are worthy of the additional titles of most popular, most beloved people in this world. Harry still is convinced that he is the most popular royal. Now, at one point in time, he was popular. I mean, the day of his wedding, he was way up there. But now, things couldn't be any more different. Meghan clearly knows that she's an amazing person, brilliant, gorgeous, witty, adored by everybody all over the world. It's just our fault for not seeing how amazing she is. Realistically, though, there are a couple of nobodies. They're inconsequential. Meghan is an actress whose claim to fame is a few weeks as a sexy suitcase girl on Deal or No Deal. And then she got that one big role, and boy, did she milk that for all it was worth. But at least from my perspective, Meghan was never anything special. She was just a girl who played a sex object in Suits, and it seems she thought she deserved nothing but the best. And Harry, well, he is a prince, he was born a prince, and he served a few years in the army, along with his brother William. Now, Harry became the figurehead for the Invictus Games, and to be honest, early on, he was good at it. He could have made a global name for himself if Meghan Markle had not slithered her way into his life. But Harry and Meghan as a couple, no, they're infamous. It's their notoriety that makes them well known. Neither seems worried about how they appear. Between the two of them, they just want the photographs, they want the headlines. And Harry is convinced that he is still popular, bless his heart. Now Meghan, she's convinced that she's on the brink of something amazing, something big that's going to make all of us sit up and take notice. And maybe she is. I mean, who really can say for sure? Maybe she will succeed at some level, although she's going to have to change a lot. From the list of her demands when attending the year-to-go Invictus celebrations at Whistler, Meghan Markle is not going to do a good job of endearing herself to anybody. And let's not forget, this is supposed to be a charity event, so every single dime is raised through fundraising and sponsorship. But still, Meghan insisted on staying in a 5-star hotel. She needed to fly first class, or rather via private jet. I mean, even first class is for plebes. And she had to be the most important person at all times. Meghan believes herself to be more important than the amazing veterans who have suffered injuries while in the service of their countries, but who are battling back to prove they're not broken. Meghan does not deserve to breathe the same air as these people. She definitely doesn't deserve any position of honor in their presence. It makes no sense to me. And as far as I know, Harry can be involved in government-level talks about bringing Meghan and the kids to the UK. But I don't believe they're going to get him anywhere he wants to go. And maybe Harry can come back and live in the UK, but his days as a working royal are certainly over. Neither he nor Meghan could be trusted. And I don't believe Harry is a thief, but still, this is now an accolade that has been given to Meghan by Billy Joel. He called her dirty and ungrateful at Seattle T-Mobile Park live entertainment performance. So his description of the time that she was working for him to me is proof enough that she deserves everything people say about her. And he's happy for her to take him to court too. He's got proof of everything he claims. If she files a lawsuit against him, everything is going to be exposed. And if she doesn't, well, it's going to look like she's guilty because she is. According to New Magazine, the idea of Meghan going back to Britain may come as a surprise to some. It is claimed that she once vowed she would never step foot in England again. The visit would be Meghan's first since the Queen's funeral in September of 2022, and it would be the first visit for the Invisible Children since the Platinum Jubilee in that same year. Furthermore, Harry and Meghan's kids have no relationship with Harry's family, so maybe this could be an important visit. Royal expert Jenny Bond also said there would be restrictions on who they would see on such visits. They would be confined, I think, to meetings with Charles and perhaps Eugenie and Beatrice. The rest of the family, according to Jenny Bond, would have to think hard about the implications of meeting Harry and Meghan, whether they can be trusted, and whether renewing their friendship would be betraying their own loyalty to William and Catherine. So if this trip really happens this May, it may determine Harry and Meghan's future within the firm. The source said it is going to be a real test to see whether the couple can make it work, and repair relations with the royal family as well as the British people. And you, what do you think about this case? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments. If you think this video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with anybody else who would enjoy it. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.